Most drama in sports comes at the end. The walk-off, the buzzer beater, for Ball State Gymnastics, the floor.
You see a gymnast's personality come alive when they're on that floor exercise.
Yes, it's so much fun. The energy is just really loud.
I know when I was in club, my grandma only ever cared about floor. So I would pray that we started on vault, so I went to floor last, because if I went to floor first, she would just leave afterwards.
It's the consensus highlight of a meet.
It's like the fun event.
Whether it's a salsa routine, a hip hop routine, a Latin routine, it doesn't matter, we perform it.
The best of any event. Floor is Ball State's specialty, and there's a lot that goes into it.
The first thing is the music. That's like the coolest part.
We mix music together, so you just find tracks that don't have any words in it.
Being able to put a ton of different songs in there instead of just having one song the whole time, which adds, character.
Though easier said than done.
It's kind of like prom dress shopping. When you go to a meet and you hear your music play and someone else may have a snippet, you are just like, excuse me. But that happens a lot because instrumentals are extremely hard to find. So there are times where you show up to a meet and someone may have the same music as you. And hopefully your choreography is a little bit better.
Which leads us to step 2, that choreography.
I choreographed the first part of it to the first tumbling part of my routine. I did that in one day.
Listen to that beat over and over and over again and say, okay, I want to pick up on this beat that goes dun dun dun, and I want to hit 3 poses on those beats. You do have to build.
At most places, that's done by outsiders or coaches, and at Ball State, that's the case too. Some of the time.
Last year, actually, me and Sarah did my routine without a choreographer.
Seeing that routine win Max 2 years in a row, I know obviously that was all her with her tumbling, but at the same time I was like, hey, I made up that floor routine.
It took us a couple days, just she would come up with an idea that looked really good, but then I'll try to do it, and I'm like, okay, it looks funky when I do it.
That's why there's time to iron out details. Some floor routines are kept for years.
There's a lot of tweaking that goes on because there's a matter of remembering the routine and then getting comfortable with the routine and then being able to show the routine off.
And it's tailored to the individual with a little style and flair.
The song Gangnam Style had just came out. I'm putting it in there. Immediately the audience is like, hey, I know that song, and they kind of relate to you while you're out there performing, and that's how you truly draw the audience's attention.
Which is actually half the battle.
Judges can put in their own input. They can say, hey, I really like that routine. I'm going to give her the full couple tenths that I can give her, or I just really didn't like it, it just didn't do it for me, and they can deduct a little bit.
And before we forget, there's also tumbling. Lots of tumbling.
You're allowed to be powerful, you're allowed to be a dynamic gymnast, and you're allowed to go out there and see how high you can go and how many times you can flip, as long as you can still land it.
You can just go out there and show your stuff and have fun with it.
The event that you get most reactions from people and is probably the most memorable.
Especially when you come to a Ball State meet. Joel Godet for BallStateSports.com.